realization sent a chill down David's spine. He wasn't just observing Mr. Harding, he was being observed in return. The hunter had become the hunted. He tried to convince himself that he was imagining things, that his paranoia was getting the better of him. But the evidence was undeniable. Mr. Harding seemed to anticipate his every move. He'd close the curtains just as David raised his binoculars, or stop making noise the moment David started recording. One evening, David found a note slipped under his door. It was a single word, scrawled in messy handwriting. "Hello." David's heart pounded in his chest. He knew it was from Mr. Harding. A silent message, a chilling acknowledgement of their twisted game. He considered moving, escaping the suffocating atmosphere of his apartment, but he couldn't. He was too invested, too consumed by his obsession. He had to know what Mr. Harding was hiding, even if it meant risking his own safety. He decided to confront Mr. Harding directly. He waited until he saw his neighbor leave his apartment. Then he slipped inside, his hands trembling. The apartment was dark and sparsely furnished. The air was thick with the same chemical odors that plagued David's apartment. He cautiously made his way through the rooms, his senses on high alert. In the living room, he found a workbench covered in tools and strange contraptions. Jars filled with unknown liquids lined the shelves. It looked like a mad scientist's laboratory. And then he saw it. A photograph lying face down on the workbench. He picked it up, his breath catching in his throat. It was a picture of him, David, sitting in his apartment, staring out the window. The picture had been taken from Mr. Harding's apartment, looking down at him. He was being watched, always. Suddenly he heard a noise behind him, the sound of footsteps, heavy and deliberate. He turned around, his eyes widening in horror. Mr. Harding stood in the doorway, his face obscured by shadows. He held something in his hand, something long and sharp. "I know you've been watching me, David," he said, his voice a low growl. "And now, it's my turn to watch you." David tried to run, but it was too late. Mr. Harding lunged forward, his eyes gleaming with a terrifying intensity. The last thing David saw was the flash of metal, and then darkness. The next morning, the police found David's body in his apartment. The official report stated that he had died of a heart attack, but the neighbor upstairs knew the truth. He knew that David had seen too much, and that he had to be silenced. And as the police carried David's body out of the building, Mr. Harding stood by his window, watching. A faint smile played on his lips. The game was over. For now.